Well, if anyone was ever in doubt about the credibility of Hunter Biden's laptop from hell, that's now been put to bed, because Hunter Biden has basically admitted that it was his damning laptop by having his lawyers write a letter to Delaware Attorney General Kathy Jennings, the Justice Department's National Security Division, and the IRS. These letters from Hunter Biden's team request the DOJ and the Attorney General to investigate individuals involved in the leaking of the laptop, saying they violated federal laws in accessing, copying, manipulating and/or disseminating Mr. Biden's personal computer data. A letter to the IRS also asks for a review into the tax-exempt status of former Trump staffer Garrett Ziegler, and there's also a letter sent to Tucker Carlson threatening the Fox News host with a defamation lawsuit. But all of this is quite confusing, because didn't Hunter Biden say that he didn't know if it was his laptop?
Was that your laptop?
For real, I don't know.
I know, but you know this is
I really don't know.
Okay.
The answer is.
You don't know yes or no if the laptop
I don't have
was
any
yours.
idea. I have no idea.
So could have been yours.
Of course, certainly. There could be a laptop out there that was stolen from me. There could be that I was hacked. It could be that it was Russian intelligence. It could be that it was stolen from me.
And you didn't drop off a laptop to be repaired in Delaware?
Not that I remember at all. At all.
But is Hunter's team admitting it was his laptop, or are they just saying the content is his?
We were waiting months for Hunter to go on offense. We kept on hearing he was building this great legal team and he was going to start hitting back at his critics. So we're waiting. And then last night we get all these letters and the strategy is, I confess the laptop's mine. And then 24 hours later, he goes, actually, it's not. Never mind. It's someone else's. So he's saying they did hold 10% for the big guy. He did try to get his dad to fire the prosecutor, and he did take Chinese money.
Despite using the keyword of data being stolen and not the physical laptop, the letter is literally going after anyone involved in leaking content from the computer. The first name is John Paul Mac Isaac, who was the computer repair shop owner who made a copy of the laptop. Robert Costello, who is Rudy Giuliani's lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, former White House advisor Steve Bannon, former Trump White House staffer Garrett Ziegler, one of Steve Bannon's associates, Jack Maxey, and a former aide to Senator Ron Johnson, who was also the founder and CEO of a cyber analytics firm. Within the letter, it singles out Mr. Mac Isaac, the first person to have seen the laptop, as someone who leaked the contents as a dirty political trick right before the 2020 presidential election. It reads, towards the end of the 2020 presidential election campaign, Mr. Mac Isaac chose to work with President Donald Trump's personal lawyer to weaponize Mr. Biden's personal computer data against his father, Joseph R. Biden, by unlawfully causing the provision of Mr. Biden's personal data to the New York Post. This failed, dirty political trick directly resulted in the exposure, exploitation, and manipulation of Mr. Biden's private and personal information. Mr. Mac Isaac's intentional, reckless, and likely unlawful conduct allowed for hundreds of gigabytes of Mr. Biden's personal data without any discretion to be circulated around the internet. Laptop repair shop owner John Paul Mac Isaac had in his possession a laptop dropped off by Hunter Biden in April 2019. Hunter never came back to retrieve the laptop, prompting Mr. Mac Isaac to go through the contents. Concerned with what he found, he passed the laptop on to the FBI, who had by October 2020 done nothing publicly about it, despite there being a federal investigation operating out of Delaware into Hunter Biden. That investigation, which has been going on since 2018, was looking at whether Hunter had potentially committed tax violations, fraud, and lying about the purchase of a firearm. John Paul Mac Isaac had made a copy, which eventually made its way into the hands of former Trump lawyer Rudy Giuliani, who passed it off to the New York Post. The reason why the owner made a copy of the laptop is because of what he found on it. He told Real America's Voice, "I saw some content that was disturbing and then also raised some red flags, including criminality related to foreign business dealings, the potential money laundering, and more importantly, national security issues and concerns, which is what caused me to do a deep dive into the laptop once it became my property." There has been so much denial over the past few years over the contents found. It was a treasure trove of personal and professional scandals for Hunter Biden, including dodgy overseas business deals that he and potentially Joe Biden were involved in, videos of him taking illicit drugs and engaging in sex acts, just to name a few. When the Post first broke the story, which detailed a relationship between Hunter, potentially Joe Biden, and a Ukrainian energy company called Burisma Holdings, the story was heavily censored just 3 weeks before the election. That's because tech giants thought it could be Russian propaganda heading into the election, as the FBI had warned them to be on high alert of potential Russian disinformation. However, Republicans and some media have always argued that the Hunter Biden laptop scandal is one of the biggest examples of censoring important stories. The letter sent on behalf of Hunter Biden calls into question whether he and his team are worried as to what will happen now that the Republican Party is in control of the House. Launching an investigation into this laptop and any dodgy overseas business deals done by the Bidens is one of the biggest political promises made by the GOP should they win back control at the midterms. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy had vowed to hold the Bidens accountable, which will begin next week when the House Oversight Committee commences a hearing into Hunter's alleged influence peddling. Speaker McCarthy spoke on Hunter Biden's letter, calling it an attorney tactic.
How is that going to impact your own investigations into him?
I don't think, anyway. I think it's delayed in its tactic. I think it's an attorney tactic to try to stop something.
White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre dodged questions on the president's son.
Again, don't have anything to add. This is something for his personal representatives to speak to.